Oh, haha, mute button. Hi, guys. Looks like it's me and Catherine and Samantha. Let me just say something really quick. So if you guys lose me or you can't hear me or something, comment over here, because I think that you guys see me or hear me at a slower pace than what I'm actually talking. So I get confused really easily, especially if there's a question or something. And this is being recorded because Kim has this set up to automatically record anytime someone hops on here. So I'm going to try and cut to the chase because I know it's really hard for her to, she calls it clip it, but I guess like edit the video and stuff like that for the link for the whole team. But everybody voted to talk about talking to strangers and how to expand their warm market. And yet nobody is on here except for us three awesome people. So I don't know if that's what, if you guys don't want to talk about that, we can talk about anything. Or I can talk about it like everybody else is listening and let them ask questions later or watch the Zoom later. It's totally up to you guys.
I'm fine with talking about this topic because I know it's something really hard for me. I can barely talk to my warm market, let alone strangers. So,
okay, let's talk about it then. You're really quiet, so it's like super hard for me to hear. I don't know if that's that's my end. I am so computer illiterate. Without Kim, I would lose my mind, you guys, or my husband. So who just joined us on the call? Who is that? Is that Robin? Hello, lady. Someone else.
Hello? Say something. Sorry, I'm trying to get everything set
Is that
up.
you?
It's Robin.
No, it's cool. I just wanted to know for sure that it was you. Okay, so let's talk about talking to strangers. Unfortunately, I don't lack any confidence in this. My father is a chatterbox. I grew up in a really small town, and when you grow up in a really small town, you know pretty much anybody. So anybody who you come across, you just talk to them like you know them, because you do. And unfortunately, also in a small town, you know all about them. So as awkward as it is, or as much as you might not like someone in a small town, you still talk to them when you run into them. So I don't really have a shy bone in my body. I don't hesitate when it comes to talking to strangers, and I don't. I'm able to talk about anything, and the conversation just flows. But someone I know who I'm really close to is not good at that and is very shy, and that's my husband, Nate. And he didn't have a lot of confidence when he was growing up, and this came up in conversation the other day about how he didn't have a date in college. He was too afraid to talk to people, including girls, and so his grandpa gave him this idea to just talk about if he came across a stranger, if he ran into someone he didn't know, to always just bring up the weather, because it at least gets people talking. And it seems really silly, but it's the truth. Like, if you pick a really broad and generic topic, people will have some kind of feedback and something to say. And it kind of makes each person feel a little bit more comfortable with just the idea of talking in general. You probably will still be nervous. I know that he is, and I can tell when he's talking to somebody he's really comfortable with and when he's talking to someone he doesn't know. But he still does. He's fortunately really funny, so humor is kind of like his crutch, and he can tell a joke and helps him feel more comfortable. But I, I was shocked to know that he was hesitant when it came to talking to strangers, because I didn't know about this. I didn't know this about him until we were married, which goes to show you that it's something he can. He should probably be doing this Zoom because he can explain it a lot better than me. But the thing that you have to always keep in the forefront of your mind is that the person that's on the receiving end is just like you when you're on the receiving end of a stranger talking to you. They're probably uncomfortable when they come up to you if they don't know you. They probably are nervous, and they probably feel like they can't approach you, or they can't say exactly what they want to say because basically they overthink it, just like you do, I'm assuming. Oh, sorry, Robin.
I'm so sorry. I thought I was muted.
So all of those things, it's okay, no worries. All of those things that you're thinking of when you're trying or when you're attempting to talk to a stranger, remember that a stranger feels those things too. And how would you want to make that person feel? Comfortable, right? And so what do you do to make someone comfortable? You talk about things that you can kind of anticipate would spark an interest in them. You can find things that are relatable between you and the other person and talk about those things. And also just pick a general topic and talk about those things. And what happens in the conversation is that it usually where something else relatable comes up. And that is what helps bridge that uncomfortableness and that like awkward gap between people, is when you or the other person says something that's really relatable. And aha, you have this connection. But you can't get to a connection with someone unless you talk to them. It won't ever happen. You're not gonna constantly find out who your next best friend is going to be if you talk to no one. You know, if I have some amazing relationships with people, and if I wasn't outgoing and forced myself basically to reach out to these people, they wouldn't be in my life. So there's value in doing it. And I know that this question, or this hesitation rather, came up from Patty about how she didn't want to seem disingenuous to people. Like they believed she was only talking to them to make a sale, because it was a selfish reason to reach out to someone. She didn't want to feel that way, right? And I was there. When I first signed up as a coach, you can ask Becca, anytime the idea of selling anything or talking to people I didn't know for the purpose of selling a challenge pack or expanding my network or anything that was business related, I told her I would quit. I told her to stop talking to me about stuff like that, because it immediately, it drove me away from all of the other opportunities that I saw, because I felt like that approach was purely for sales. So it felt icky and uncomfortable, and it's not me, it's not my mission. And so I had a really hard time with this idea of talking to people for the same reason that Patty brought up, is I don't want to become disingenuous to anyone else out there. And so the ways that I go about it when I'm talking to people that I don't know is if I want to expand my warm market on Facebook, I search for people that I have something in common with. And I use the search bar tool to find other moms, other rancher wives, people who live in Oregon, anything that I can think of that I'm going to have something in common with these people. And I don't hesitate to send a friend request to expand my warm market. And the reason why is because at some point or another, my hope and the reason why I extended that friend request is so that I can get to know that person. not so that I can send them a random message asking them to buy a challenge pack from me. I don't friend request someone and then follow up with a, hey, do you want to buy a challenge pack? Because I'm a coach and that you need to get in shape. Like, that's not how it works. I send a friend request and I usually follow up with something like, hey, since we're on Facebook as friends now, I wanted to say hi and hopefully get to know you a little better. I noticed that you X, Y, and Z, fill in the blank, by either what you searched for or what you've seen on their Facebook wall. And it starts a conversation. And a lot of people, what I've found from this like new habit of mine is that a lot of people return the message with like, you're right, it is silly to be Facebook friends and not say hi, how are you? And you know, whatever. And it just starts a conversation. And I honestly don't bring up, Beachbody or coaching or any of that stuff until our conversation has gotten deeper. And usually that happens through interacting with their Facebook page and in our private message chat that's going on. I will say, however, that sometimes when I'm trying to push really hard for a goal, and let's say I have 100 new friends from the last month or 2 months or whatever, and I haven't made any contact with them whatsoever, I've allowed myself to send this very generic message that just says, hi, I noticed we're Facebook friends. So I wanted to extend a hi and introduce myself. I hate receiving random messages from people I don't know, so I'm hopeful that this finds you in a better mood. But I am a fitness coach. I am hosting a challenge group. It's free, it's fun, it's interactive, and if you have goals, I'd love to help you reach them. If not, I hope you have a great day. I hope this caught you on a positive note, whatever. Like, I don't hold the responsibility of how they interpret what my intention is over myself anymore, because I've sent that message and I've got new challengers and they've turned into people who really needed to be part of challenge groups. And the reason why it feels icky to send messages to people we don't know is because we're thinking that way in our mind. We're the one that is hypothetically already making up what this other person is going to interpret from us sending them a message or a friend request. And you never know. Sarah group or something like that. And out of everybody in there, I just liked her post the most. So I friend requested her, and I wasn't a coach at the time or anything. But we just started clicking outside of the group. And if I had not sent her that friend request and told her like, hey, I think you're awesome, like, we're really good friends now. And honestly, I have grown a lot just from becoming friends with her. So I'm really thankful that I don't let those hypothetical doubts and negativity hold me back. And it kind of goes toe to toe or hand in hand with confidence. If confidence is what you're lacking and you're letting it hold you back from stuff, you're not going to grow either. And if you're going to let this insecurity of what other people are going to think by you reaching out to them hold you back, your business isn't going to grow either. Because what happens when all of your family and friends who know you're a coach now because you post about it all the time, I've seen all of you guys sharing your fitness stuff every single day. So they know you're doing something. They know something has changed. And once they're either going to reach out to you, you're going to reach out to them, but somehow everybody in your network that you already established before coaching knows you're a coach. So what happens when all of them have either said hell no or yes please or maybe? Like, who are you going to talk to? You've got to be willing to expand that market or that demographic of people that you can talk to. Also, the benefit of doing this is since you've signed up as a coach, your why changes, and you'll learn that as time goes on. Like for me, I needed the community. Like straight up, that was the thing that kept pulling me back to what the heck was this coaching thing? Because my friends look like they're having fun. I was already doing the runner thing and the eating healthy thing, and I knew no one, and I had no one in my life but Olivia and Nate. So I was like, how in the heck is she turning this fitness thing into a community thing? So I reached out to figure it out. And since then, my community has expanded exponentially, and that's not my why anymore. Like, that's not one of the reasons, but I should pay that forward to people who are out there who felt exactly like I did when I first started, like lonely and like they had no one to relate to and no support or accountability whatsoever. And if I don't put myself out there and friend request people and they don't see my posts, they might never have that opportunity to reach out and you know, see that eye-catching thing that other person is doing that might add so much value to their life like it did for mine. And so basically what I'm getting back to with all of that stuff is this is a mind game between you and whoever the hell you want to talk to about anything. And you should have the confidence to be able to walk up to anybody that you see in the marketplace, at the mall, out at the park, and just, hey, how's it going? And just let it be what it is and let it kind of just form naturally and organic, because if you are prejudging what that other person is going to think of you, that's something you need to work on. And the only way you can work on that is by doing more of it, so that you notice it's not scary, it's not disingenuous, it's a human talking to another human. There's no big deal in that, like, in my opinion. And like I said, I'm not that person that was ever stuck in this place that was insecure to talk to anybody. But I know that by watching Nate, he talks to everybody now, and I don't see any of his insecurities, and he can talk about anything. So I feel like it goes hand in hand with confidence. You just got to do it. You got to do the thing and say the thing to build the habit, so that you no longer feel like it's this big, scary, uncomfortable thing. I saw a bunch of stuff over here in the comments, so hang on. Samantha, how do you talk to them without coming off as a weirdo? What are you talking to them about? Like, if I send a message, it's usually like, you know, I don't know why, but for some reason I have a lot of Texas friends. And so I always ask them how hot it really is. And I've been to Texas a few times. So I'll just randomly say, like, something like, this summer is hot over here. Is that hot over there? Are you originally from Texas? I've been there a few times. Like, just something really generic and random. And I let them react. Like, I don't send them like a paragraph. I send them like 1 to 2 sentences, and I let them react to see what they'll say. A lot of times I get such sweet, friendly feedback or like responses that the conversations just naturally flow. And some people don't respond, and so I just don't care about it. I don't worry about it, you know? It's not the end of the world, I guess. I'm going to keep trying to reach out to those people who do want to talk and who are nice, because those are the people that I would want to be friends with anyway. Those are the people that I have something in common with, who aren't afraid to talk to a stranger. So I don't know what you're saying that you would come across as a weirdo. I mean, you're a teacher, you work with kids, you're on this new fitness journey. I'm pretty sure I just saw that you're going camping for the first time. Like, put that out there and let other people, if you do send friend requests, you don't even have to send a message, but by putting that stuff out there about who you are, it might help them engage with you too, and you don't even have to say anything. One of the worst things that you can do, by the way, when you're talking to anybody, is to ask close-ended questions. Do you know what that means? Like, yes or no. Like, that's all you're going to get back. So you need to put stuff out there that creates an opportunity for people to interact. So open-ended questions. So when you're posting about what you do, create a reason for them to engage. I'm going camping the first time. What should I not forget? Like, do I need 20 pairs of underwear? Like, bring it out with your personality, you know, like open-ended questions, get people interacting with you. And if you really are afraid to send a message, all you need to do is you have this little thing in Facebook that says recently added friends. Go in and like their posts or make comments on their posts. And you don't even need to worry if they're going to respond to that, right? You can just say, this looks fun, or how did you get your kid to eat broccoli, or whatever the picture is, you know? And it creates your post to show up in their news feed, which gives them an opportunity to interact with you. Don't just automatically start harassing people with, I'm a coach and I want you in my challenge group. That's not what we are talking about when we're saying expand your market. Like, that's not the intention. A lot of coaches do cold calls, which I do when I am up against a goal that I haven't met. Like right now I'm sitting at Success Club 1 and I really would like to hit Success Club 5. I'm not at a point where I'm going to send out a bunch of cold messages until like the last week of July. But if I'm not there by that week, yeah, I don't care what anybody says, because I'll bet you that if I sent out 100 messages at this point, I'd probably get 25 of them that are like, hey, that's nice, but no thanks. Or, hell yeah, I'd love to, I didn't know you did that and I want to join an accountability group. Or no response. Like, I'm not worried about it, because if one person responds, I want that person in my group. I want to see how I can help them. And that one person is worth it. So I went off topic there, but Sam, you're not a weirdo, so don't think that you're going to come across as a weirdo. Yes, the weirdo thing, and creepy, awkward, all the above, Catherine. I honestly, like, it sounds like you guys are a little bit, like, intimidated by what people think of you. You guys know you're awesome, right? So who the hell cares what anyone thinks? At the end of the day, if you got 50 people that were like, you're a weirdo, what the heck are you doing? We need to talk, like, for real. But if you get like, if you send out like 5 messages, I would guarantee you that you would get 5 people that were kind back to you. And they're not gonna be like, you're a weirdo. They're gonna be like, you know, hi, that's nice of you, or whatever. Like, prove to yourself that you're not a weirdo. There's nothing to be intimidated by. So that's an exercise I think that's really good to do to create a good habit. You got to keep doing something, right? Create an opportunity. Like Kimberly the other day, she told me that she was really afraid to do a live video. So I told her to practice on us and do one in the Team Truth and Trades business or page. And so I gave her like 2 things that I was curious to know about. And so she went live in our page and she talked about it. And I was really inspired by her. I mean, she's packing her 2-year-old son around in like a 40-pound cast or something. So she speaks really well, but give yourself an opportunity to prove yourself wrong. There's nothing to be scared about. If you keep believing that and you don't do anything to realize otherwise, you'll always believe that. So you have to create an opportunity to prove yourself wrong. There's nothing to be scared about. If you want, I will give you a list of like 10 of my family members. They're all really nice and you could send messages to them and I'll just give them a little heads up. And and like, feel free to just harass them like crazy, and just to get used to the idea of randomly talking to people, even friend request them, because they're pretty hysterical on Facebook. But you're not weird. And if you believe that, like, you got to give yourself experiences to prove yourself wrong. So I think that's so, I don't know, for a lack of a better word, that's so like, it's cute and genuine. Like, I want to hug you. If at any time that's me. I really struggle with getting the conversation to flow. I'll ask questions, but eventually the combo stops, maybe after 4 to 5 things back and forth. How do you get it to keep going? That's a good one, Samantha. Keep the conversation going. Open-ended questions. Give them a reason to talk. Like, people love to talk. Like, if you haven't noticed, I am an expert rambler. It's just in our DNA. We like to talk about ourselves. So give people a reason to talk about themselves. when they do, usually a bunch of points will come out of it. You could jot it down, you could track it in Excel, find a way to remember what they mentioned to create more dialogue and content within whatever they said back to you. A couple of tricks. Ask for advice. Whenever I ask randomly for advice, I hear from totally random people that I don't know. I'm talking about in posts. I'm talking about private messages when you want to talk to somebody that you haven't connected with in a long time or you haven't interacted with yet. Just find out something that you think that they may be able to give you advice on, and it's like a floodgate. It's like they just want to bare their soul and tell you everything that you should need to know, don't want to know, all of it. Like, ask for advice and people will just start talking. And what's really great about that is when I ask other people for advice, I really get to know them. I feel like I'm building a friendship with people. I think Sarah had just had her 4th baby when we met. But she said that people always ask her how she is so thin after having 4 babies. And it just got her talking like crazy. So feel free to ask questions about those other people and then just let them go. Like, ask for their advice, their opinion. The other trick, people love to dress me. What is that about? Like, I get it. I don't read fashion magazines and I don't really care, but I have a lot of really cute clothes in my closet. I don't get to wear them, but I put them on and I'm like, I don't feel comfortable in this. Can I even pull this off? Like, does this match? And when I put it out there on social media, people love to tell me what to wear. Like, it's ridiculous. And it creates that engagement and that opportunity to interact more with people that you wouldn't otherwise interact with. And all I keep thinking in my head is like, all of this sounds really disingenuous, because the whole point of it to talk to them is so that they get into a challenge group or buy a challenge pack or whatever. And I feel like that's where our mind goes when we're like, it's still the point, it's still the bottom line. It doesn't have to be. You don't ever have to ask that question, because if you're sharing your journey and you're putting out there open-ended posts where people want to interact and engage with you, and you're sharing your journey at the same time that you're doing this, people are going to ask you when it's right for them, right? So if you see something that you've been like contemplating, or like you have that gut check where you're like, oh man, Kelly is every day she's working out, and I don't know her that well, but I've seen that she's pretty funny. She's, down to home kind of girl. I bet I could ask her what she's doing and kind of get myself started in that direction. If you create your Facebook page as a way to share who you really are, what you're really doing to take care of yourself, and then create opportunities for people to interact with you, they're going to feel like when you post that one time that you did that workout that you didn't really want to do, they're going to talk to you about it. And that's actually one of the things that Sarah, I never asked her about coaching. She asked me what I was doing. I mean, if you really don't want to do that and put yourself out there and send random messages, try that method. I'm rambling so much, I feel so bad. Open-ended questions for the back and forth, guys. Just ask for advice, give people a reason to talk, because they love to do it. Ashley, I've never done this before. Hi, Ashley. We're so glad you're on. I didn't know there was a chat section. I know, this is the second time we've used the chat section. Apparently we're new at this too. Samantha, bug spray. Don't forget your bug spray, home slice. What are those? Citronella. Oh, I got a really good tip for camping. If you go to Victoria's Secret and they have the sale on their lotions going on, you can get 5 for $20. Get Amber Romance. I'm not even kidding you. I'll go. It's by my back door, because when we have mosquitoes here, it has like citronella in it, and it has all that stuff that they don't like. And it's a lotion rather than like a chemical. So amber romance. You might smell like you belong on a street corner, but you're camping. So you smell better than the rest of the people you're with probably. So, but bug spray, and if you're on really uncomfortable ground, bring a padding of some sort, like just something, because you won't sleep and then that just won't be fun. Typing a shopping list. Pinterest has tons of camping food ideas, by the way. I've started to talk more to random people in my office because of this exact thing that you were talking about. See, you just gotta just do it. Just force yourself. Kelly, I love you and miss you like so much. When you are talking to strangers, we have no idea who you are. Oh, who cares? That's how you get to know people. You are stuck on this weirdo thing. You are so awesome. Don't let that slow you down. We hadn't barely talked ever before, and we spent like 3 nights together, and we had a blast. So do you ever unfriend people on Facebook that ignore you to make more room for nice people? Unfortunately, I don't, but here's my thought on that. Everybody's on their own journey. And if you reach out to someone and it's not the right time for them, that's totally okay. You can't force anybody to be ready for anything. Like, I learned that the hard way, and I am so stubborn too myself. So unless I'm ready, or unless it's something I'm working on for personal growth, I need my time too. We all do. And I have learned that a lot of people that are maybe unkind when they respond, they got issues that they're working on. And I want to show them that it does not offend me to be rude or be who they are or feel the way they feel or say no. Because at some point, what if they grow and they change and they come to this conclusion that they've been being this person that they don't want to be, and they want to be this other person. So they're working on it. And then they have this light bulb moment. Like, I remember that one girl I was really mean to, and she still stayed my friend, and she still said hi from time to time. And she is in really good shape, and she said she could help me. Maybe I'll talk to her. And honestly, it's not even about the workout thing. If they remember that there was someone out there that didn't discredit them just for being somewhere on their journey that made them fall short, I feel like it gives them more confidence and like that self acceptance that just because they were one way doesn't mean that they need to hang on to that or feel badly about it. They just need to grow. And anyway, I don't unfriend anybody. I don't mind if people unfriend me, and I don't chase after them or whatever. But I just don't unfriend people because I feel like I still want to be a light for them. I still want to be some form of positivity or good humanity in their world, like any part of their world, that might just, I don't even know, give them hope. I don't know. That's just something that it's one of my approaches to social media is I would just rather be a light. So I don't unfriend people. Just don't hold it against them, and don't hold it against yourself. If people are being a-holes to you, that's seriously that's them, and they need to work on that. God, I'm so good at rambling, but when I was in high school, I was friends with everybody. I had so many friends, and I had a handful of girlfriends, like 5 or 6, and we always did everything together. And I married my high school sweetheart. His name was Dylan. And Dylan didn't believe in family. He didn't believe in having kids. He didn't believe that you needed friends unless they were like good and pure. And if they drank or if they did anything, they were not worth your time. And I was a bad person for having those friends. And in this attempt to save this relationship that I had for 4 years, I cut out every single friend I had in high school. Just under the pure principle of this black and white notion that because they did something stupid, I shouldn't be friends with them. I'm better than them. And I'm not going to let that kind of influence into my life. Years later, we were divorced within less than a year, you guys. But it was a couple years later when I had this realization that who in the hell am I to just completely desert these friends of mine that have always been loyal to me, always been there, just because I was uncomfortable that they were doing something I didn't agree with. Isn't that their privilege to learn how to grow through life and become an adult and experience it however they choose? And so I literally wrote them all letters just saying, I made a mistake and I'm working on me too. And I hope you can forgive me, and I hope you never held what I did against yourself, because that's the worst feeling in the world, to make someone feel bad. So, and I'm friends with all of them again. And I had to put my ego aside, admit that I was wrong, reach out to them, and the fact that they accepted me back as their friends is just a huge reminder to me that we're all imperfect. We're all doing this our own way. So we just need to shine that light and let people know that it's okay to do things on their own terms. And I love the nice people. I'm very thankful for the nice people, because that's just, it's just a better way to go out throughout your day. And wow, where did I even come from with that? I'm just so shy, and when I don't know people. I'm shy unless I have a few drinks, Kelly, that's for damn sure. What? Steph Davies shy. I don't like to compare either. We all get to do this our own way, but Nate said, wasn't Steph Davies shy? So Steph Davies went to a high school just down the street from me, and I grew up, my parents moved to Portland when I was older, so I graduated from a huge high school, and Steph Davies graduated early and fled the country because she was shy and uncomfortable, and she felt like she had no one to get along with that like understood who she was. And literally she went to Europe. Like she felt that lost and like she had no one. And you know, if you follow her at all, you know she's not shy now, right? Like, you know, it's just, she just kept working on it, and creating opportunities to get out of her own way. I'm shy unless I have a few drinks. Kelly, yes, I feel shy and awkward, and I'm horrible at holding a conversation. My husband the same way. He doesn't normally talk to strangers. Drinks up. I like it. We should all just have a wine night and talk about something really random. I take one glass of wine before I'm like tipsy and super, you know, casual. So I walk around with headphones so that people don't talk to you, Kelly, because you're afraid to talk to them. You walk around with headphones. I would do that because they would annoy me. Like, I don't want to hear what they have to say. So I would be like, no. But not because I'm like, wow, you are so fun. I can't believe you do that. Are you on your phone? The screen to the right. Okay. So he says iPhone. Okay. Sorry. I'm trying to find your questions. Kelly, I love your ramble. I miss your accent. Like, I came home and I was like, Kelly talks like this. So I can't even do it now because I haven't heard you in so long. We had wine at retreat. Yeah, we did. Oh, I'm breaking up. Okay. So, I don't know if you guys have any more questions. Post them over here. What was the other thing? Expanding your warm market. So use your search engine to just search for people and add them as friends. And if you feel like you can't talk to strangers, you need to do it more because it's not so scary. And that's how you get confident, is by doing more of the stuff that scares you. I had no idea you were married before Nate. Yeah, I didn't. For a long time, I was really, I felt really ashamed of that. My parents told me at one point, like, we don't believe in divorce. And I don't even know what I thought that meant. Like, what were they going to do, disown me? But I did it anyway because I think that's ridiculous. And I think that was the turning point for me when I realized that I wasn't being this person that I really am, or a positive person in the world, by like settling and not, growing and, admitting when you're wrong and fixing the stuff that you don't like about yourself or your life or whatever. So I no longer am ashamed to admit that because it completely changed I learned a lot and it changed my life. So, okay. Any more questions? Post them over there. I hope, was that at all helpful? Like, does anybody feel like sending out random messages now? Yes. Cool. Well, I'm glad you took the path you did. I love you, Kelly. I miss you. Am I going to your wedding? Just kidding. Just kidding. Adding more people today. Miss you. Okay. So if you guys don't, yeah, I seriously went. If you guys don't have any questions, I'm gonna go eat dinner because it's done. If you do, just raise your hand. Like if you're figuring this out, Marion, you have a question. Like you can unmute yourself. You look like you might have a question, but I don't want to put you on the spot. Robin, I know you can't chat, so if you have a question, I'd love to hear it. And before we go, I'm going to take a group picture, so everybody smile. I'm going to see if I can do this.
Check out that amazing timing I just had, by the way.
What?
Yes,
So good right now.
Smile, it's happening. Okay, boom. So Sarah, or Robin, if you have any questions, unmute yourself, home slice, and ask them, but it looks like everybody else is good to go.
Good. Thank you.
Okay, cool. Yeah, thank you for being on. Laura, do you? Go for it, honey. No?
Did I what?
You unmuted yourself, so I thought maybe you had a question.
Oh no, I like literally just logged on, so I was trying to mute myself. I just haven't done it yet.
Oh, okay. Are we going to do a summit Zoom before Nashville? Samantha, that's a really good question. Before Nashville, about Nashville? Because we could do one. I don't want to make everybody, I'm not going to ask everybody to get on that Zoom because they'd be like super bummed to hear about how much fun we're going to have. But I think we should talk about the Zoom that would presumably happen on the Thursday of opening night ceremony. I'll be in Nashville. I am not hosting one. So for those of you guys who aren't going to Nashville and you want to have a Zoom, do it. Use it as an opportunity to get to know each other, talk about something, clear up some questions that you might have, interact. Use it as an opportunity to get more comfortable speaking on here. But I ain't hosting that, and neither is Kim. She won't be on. I'm speaking for you. Sarah won't be on. All of us, we are probably going to be drinking, so it's not gonna happen. So
No, but I'll a link, and you guys are welcome to use my Zoom account so that you don't have a limit on the amount of time that you talk, and we'll automatically record it, and someday I'll post it. So, there's that.
Kelly, yes. She said she might be able to host it. Do it, Kelly. Just get more comfortable. Like I think that's a really good idea. So do it. Okay. All right. So I don't think there's any more questions. What? See how I get on right when the photo happened? She's sneaky like that. Okay.
I think it was pretty sweet.
Yeah. Oh, the next Zoom is it is next Thursday because I'll still be home and all that stuff. And I was taking a look at the poll, and not a lot of people have responded to it yet. So I'm going to post about that and see if the next topic changes at all before we go there. I am going to ask you guys, though, that Nate said that I should talk about getting out of your own way. But in my opinion, that's a lot to do with confidence and, do the thing, say the thing anyway. So I don't know if you would even want to, but I could add it to that list, I guess. What date exactly? That date is the 22nd, Kelly. No, 21st.
No, that's the one that we're going to do, Julie. You'll still be around for the
I'm sorry, yeah, the 28th,
Kelly.
The 28th.
Yeah.
28th, Kelly. Thanks. Samantha. Okay, guys, I'm so glad you guys are on. It's so fun talking to you. I love this chat bar. This is so cool. I hope to see you guys on Thursday, and I hope you guys have a really good weekend. Samantha, good luck camping. Peace out, guys.
Bye.